iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. So let's get right to it. There is so much going on this weekend. Spencer Ware, done for the year, right? I mean, Spencer Ware done for the year with the Chiefs. That's a big loss there. It's not 100% sure, but it's a torn PCL, damage LCL, doesn't look good. Julian Edelman, torn ACL. That is bad. Okay, so now we talked about this. New England, Rob Gronkowski, Dwayne Allen, Brandon Cooks, Roto, Chris Hogan, Danny Amendola. They all step up. James White steps up. And then the big one yesterday, Cameron Meredith, a guy I liked very much, looks like he tore his MCL and his ACL. This is just a bad loss for them. So now you're looking at Kevin White, maybe Marcus Wheaton. Who knows? I don't know. Probably not. Kendall Wright. Victor Cruz, this is just a mess there in Chicago. I think they wanted to cut Zach Miller. They probably won't. They'll probably keep three tight ends with Miller, Sims, and Shaheen, because if you don't have Meredith, what are you going to do? They may have to run a two tight end offense and just give the ball to Jordan Howard and pray. I mean, this is a lot going on for fantasy owners to digest at this point in the year. And, you know, I talk about this all the time. One, when you draft early, you can get major value. So Devontae Parker, for example, I was getting this guy in round 7 a couple of weeks ago. Yesterday he was a round 5 pick. Kareem Hunt was a round 7, 8 pick. Now he's going to round 2. So drafting early gives you value, but drafting early, if you have Cameron Meredith in any league, you're in big trouble right now. You have Julian Edelman in one league, you're done. So it is... You know, it's the perils of fantasy football. I often say this, the best team does not win a fantasy football league. It doesn't happen that way. I wish it did. I wish the best owners and the best teams won. The teams who stay injury-free, the teams that find the best players on the waiver wire, the teams that spend their money appropriately during the season in fab, those are the teams who win. But teams who just, you got to get lucky. The best team does not always win a fantasy football league. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but it's true. I don't believe that in fantasy baseball. In fantasy baseball, the best team usually wins. Not so in football. It's the best team on a given week, any given Sunday, right? So very quickly, I was talking to a friend of mine earlier this morning, and he said, he's been playing fantasy football for a lot of years, and he's made a lot of mistakes over the time. I always tease him, never draft guys older than he is, and he's in his 40s. So he tends to go with old man value there. But the simple rule is pick guys whose value at the end of the year will be higher than where you take them. This is not a hard rule. This is a fair rule, right? Matt Ryan went in round 15 last year. He was a top 3 quarterback. Look at the guys this year and ask yourself, who's going to be this year's guy? So I participated in a draft yesterday, a Beat Dr. Roto online championship draft. And I was very impressed with some teams and very depressed by other teams. But I thought it was a very aggressive draft. I thought it was a very aggressive draft. So I want to go through some of the teams here and some of the picks. I did a draft review that will be up on Scout Fantasy later. So take a look at that where I did each team's best pick and worst pick. What I want to do here is I want to talk about each team's most aggressive pick. And we'll look at it there. So I took Devontae Parker in round 5. To me, that was my aggressive pick of this draft. When I'm picking 1, which I was, I knew I wasn't getting Parker back. He was going to go in the next 3 or 4 picks. No doubt in my mind he's going in the next 3 or 4 picks. I had to be aggressive and take Parker at 5-1 because I wasn't going to get him back any later. Jay Cutler seems to love him. Jay Cutler seems to be targeting him. He likes throwing the ball downfield. I've got to take the chance. Parker's the kind of guy who was the 27th wide receiver off the board yesterday. 27th. Could he be top 12 by the end of the year? Absolutely. If he's a top 12 receiver, he's a third-round pick, maybe even a second, depending on the league. So I'm taking a guy in round 5 who could be a round 2 or 3 player next year. All right, team 2, Cooper Kupp. Very aggressive pick. Do I like it? I like the fact that he was aggressive. I mean, I love Cooper Kupp, but I think with Sammy Watkins there, his value goes down. Because you've got Sammy Watkins, you've got Robert Woods, but I do like Cooper Kupp. And in a PPR, it is a bold, aggressive move. You're going to be wrong, okay? So I don't get at a guy for making a bold move and being wrong. A lot of us are going to be wrong, so long as I like the player. I like Cooper Kupp. Would I have taken him in round 9? No. But when he went off, I was like, interesting. You know, what if the guy catches 75 passes? He could be a good player. So I like aggressive play, and I thought that was an aggressive play. Team 3, I thought the aggressive play for them was Hunter Henry. They took Hunter Henry before Kyle Rudolph. Now, I would not do that. I would take Rudolph 10 times out of 10 over Henry. But let me say this. If Antonio Gates is out for any length of time, Hunter Henry's a top 5 tight end. I put him higher than Jordan Reed and Greg Olsen. How about that? I think Hunter Henry's a top 3 tight end. So all I need to do is see, Antonio Gates injured and Hunter Henry rises to like a 4th round pick. So that is an aggressive pick. Will it work out? Once again, I don't know, but I love the aggressive pick. Okay, team 4. What was his aggressive pick? Chris Hollywood Hogan. Now, this was a little too aggressive for me, but I get the thinking. Julian Edelman is out. Chris Hogan is a really good receiver. Brady likes throwing to him. He should have more opportunities than ever. Amendola gets injured walking to the bathroom in the middle of the night. Maybe Hogan does something. This guy also took John Brown in round 6, so this guy was very aggressive. Will this pay off? I don't think so, but once again, if Hogan and Brown have good years, this guy, he's paying up for him, but he's being aggressive. Team 6, who was his aggressive move? I think it was Zay Jones. So let's discuss Zay Jones for a second. Tyrod Taylor, injured right now. Nathan Perriman, just a rookie. There's no Sammy Watkins anymore. Jordan Matthews is injured. Chuck Place stinks. LaShawn McCoy is going to see 12 men in the box. I mean, that's how bad it is. Zay Jones, he's a rookie, but he's going to get his opportunities. So this guy brings in Zay as his 5th receiver. So Zay at a 5, I have no problem with Zay at a 5. I don't want Zay at a 4, but I mean, Zay at a 5 I can live with. So upside pick there. I love what the next team did. Team 6, I love what he did. He took receivers early. He got Beckham and Baldwin and Crowder and Tate. Then he took Aaron Rodgers. Then he took Woodhead and Ertz. Love his first 7 rounds. I really, really do. And then in rounds 8, 9, and 10, he takes Jamal Williams, Donta Foreman, Rex Burkhead. Then he takes Sterling Shepard to back up Beckham. Then he takes Jack Doyle, Marlon Mack, and Smallwood. This was an outstanding, outstanding draft. Really was a good draft. And I look at it and go, this guy needs 1 or 2 of those running backs to emerge, and he not only could win this league, he could win the online championship. Because he's got 4 stud receivers, he's got Woodhead, he's got Ertz, he's got Rodgers. If Williams or Foreman or Mack or Burkhead or anybody else steps up, this guy's looking great. I love the move. It was very, very good draft by him. And I think Williams and Foreman and Burkhead are real deal. And Marlon Mack, I like Marlon Mack in round 13 more than I like Frank Gore in round 9. How about that? I thought that was a great job drafting there by Team 6. Okay, Team 7. So Team 7, I'm trying to think. The move that was outside the box, I don't think I would have made this move, but I'm looking at it here. Carlos Hyde in round 4. There was still Joe Mixon on the board. There was still Marshawn Lynch on the board. There was still Bilal Powell on the board. Still Lamar Miller on the board. But he jumped and took Carlos Hyde. That's aggressive. Maybe he thinks Kyle Shanahan has come to his senses. Maybe he thinks that Carlos Hyde's real deal. He's got McCoy, Howard, Hopkins, Hyde. That's pretty good. If he's his 3rd running back. He doesn't need Hyde as his 2nd. It's his 3rd. So that makes him less reliable on Carlos Hyde. So that making it a much better play. Okay, the next team, Team 8. So where did Team 8 go with aggressive? I like this move here. In rounds 12 and 13, he went to Seattle and he took Thomas Rawls in 12 and Chris Carson in 13. Now, CJ Prosise is the PPR guy. We know that. Eddie Lacy is having problems with keeping his weight down. And he just hasn't looked very spry. But Rawls and Carson, one of these two guys, could be the starter there. And this guy takes them both and says, you know what? I'll throw one pick to the wind, but if one of these guys works out, I've got the starting running back there in Seattle. That's smart moves there. That's a very aggressive thought process. I like to see that, right? He's thinking ahead, saying to himself, look, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm prepared. I'm prepared in either case to have Rawls or Carson. Okay, team 9. This one, I need to talk about something different here. This guy went off the rails. This was a draft I just need to tell you about. He took Jordy Nelson at 1, then he took Gronk in round 2. I'm okay there. Then he took Travis Kelce in 3. I'm not liking 2 tight ends. We're not running a 2 tight end offense. Took Montgomery in 4, Brady in 5. I guess I can make an argument for this team at this point. But then in round 6, he takes Greg Olsen. This tells me something here. It tells me, and I can't confirm or deny this, but I'm wondering whether this guy read the rules or not. This is not a 1.5 point per reception for a tight end in this league. It's not. Now, other leagues are. Some of our competitor leagues do that, 1.5 points per tight end. I don't know. I'm gonna say that that's what this guy was thinking because I couldn't imagine anybody taking 3 tight ends in the first 6 rounds. If it's true and I'm right and he was thinking that, I say to yourself, I say this, you must read the rules before you come in to a league. Because these guys are devalued in our format. They're only worth 1 point. Now, the truth is, yes, you can flex them, right? Because you can play a tight end in 2 flexes. And maybe this guy's saying, look, I'll play Gronk at tight end and Kelce and Olsen will be my flexes. All right, I get that, but I still wouldn't take 3 tight ends. I really wouldn't do that. I mean, his starting receivers are Jordy Nelson, Eric Decker, and Jordan Matthews, and John Ross, and D.D. Westbrook. I mean, we got some issues here. So I ask you guys, please, when you come into a league, pay close attention to the rules. Okay? All right, Team 10. I thought Team 10 did a very good job drafting. Really did a good job drafting. I thought he was aggressive with Derrick Henry. I thought Derrick Henry was both the best and worst pick of his draft. He took Henry in round 6 as the 25th running back off the board. If DeMarco Murray gets injured, I love Derrick Henry. If DeMarco Murray doesn't get injured, you took him in front of Abdullah and Danny Woodhead. I mean, you just don't do that. So I like Derrick Henry. I do. But were you too aggressive by passing up guys who had better roles? I don't know how you pass up Danny Woodhead for Derrick Henry. Now, fast forward 6 weeks, if DeMarco Murray's out for the season, Derrick Henry's a top 5 running back, and this guy's winning the league. I kid you not. And this guy's got Michael Thomas and Devonta Adams and Stephon Diggs and Emmanuel Sanders and Randall Cobb and Todd Gurley. He might win the league. So it's a winning pick. I just would have liked his team a whole lot more with Woodhead there. I just would have. All right, Team 11, I thought did a very good job taking Kevin White. Was very aggressive with Kevin White. Kevin White with his 7th round pick. Now look, right before our draft, which was at 5 p.m. Eastern time, Cameron Meredith was carted off the field. So your process has to be this. Meredith leaves the game. Who's the next guy up? The next guy up is Kevin White, making him the 42nd wide receiver off the board. Going ahead at Thielen, going ahead at Corey Coleman, going ahead against Robbie Anderson, going ahead against Zay Jones. And you know what? I like it. That's aggressive. Maybe Kevin White doesn't turn out to be great, but it's a smart little pick there because if White does turn out to be the number 1 receiver, he snagged him in the 7th round, and he's his 4th receiver. So once again, high risk, high reward, but that's a winning pick to me, and I like how he made it. All right, so talking about Team 12, a friend of mine, Al didn't have to do anything. Al just had to sit there at the other end, and he got a lot of good picks. Now look, Al made good picks. I give him a lot of credit. But here's your job when you're picking 1 or you're picking 12. Make every team pay for a bad pick in that round. Al takes Freeman at 12. Great pick. Takes Demaryius Thomas in round 3. Takes Terrell Pryor in round 4. Takes Brandon Marshall in round 6. Takes Thielen in 8. Takes Kenny Britt in 10. He made everybody pay, right? So I think looking at his team is Derek Carr. Then he's got Freeman, Ajayi, Tevin Coleman, and Adrian Peterson. Demaryius Thomas, Terrell Pryor, Brandon Marshall, Adam Thielen, Kenny Britt, Eifert. So a pretty darn good team for Team 12, right? Team 12, you're like, oh, that's a terrible pick. Not if you clean up and make people pay. When they make a bad pick, you make a good pick. So I thought Al did a sensational job there. That was you look at that, you're disappointed in getting 12. But people will make bad picks in a draft. I've said this before. Do you know why I'm upset that Spencer Ware got injured this week? I mean, first of all, I don't like an injury. I hate to see an injury. But secondly, I was never taking Spencer Ware. I wanted somebody to take him in round 5. That was helping my team out. Right? It was helping my team out by somebody making a bad pick. You know, Julian Edelman was never on my radar. Cameron Meredith was, right? So I'm upset about that one because he was a guy that I was looking at. But Julian Edelman, I was never taking Julian Edelman. I was never taking Spencer Ware. So those are guys that I wanted to be in the player pool so people would take them. What can I tell you? But I tell you this, I will be doing I got a lot of Beat Dr. Roto drafts this week. So if you go right now to play ffwc.com, you're going to see a lot of things going on here. You're going to see tons of drafts. Tonight, an online championship at 6 o'clock. Starter drafts, full season drafts, super flex leagues, right? But then later this week, you're going to see a Beat Dr. Roto draft Thursday night. Okay, at 11 p.m., you stay up late, I'll be there. Saturday, we have a starter draft at 11 o'clock Saturday night. And then Sunday, I have an online championship at 11:30. So I am drafting 3 times this week. You want your shot to play against Dr. Roto, this is the way to do it. I will be there this week at playffwc.com. Go online. It's the best payouts, great customer service, no trading, easy to use draft room, top players in the industry. I love the rules. I love the deep rosters. What more could you want? So you want to beat me? You want me to review your draft? Come on in, beat Dr. Roto. All right, guys, time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. And remember, if you're not a member of Scout Fantasy, I want you to be a member of scoutfantasy.com. Enter the promo code ROTO, that's ROTO 2017. Get half off your first month. Welcome aboard. Come on to the Scout Army and let us make you a winner in your fantasy football leagues. All right, wishing you a great day, guys. Be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!